Folks, are you an entrepreneur? Are you self-employed? Are you trying to buy a primary, second home, or investment property and finding it difficult to get a conventional loan? Well, you know what, folks? There is this thing called bank statement loans, and they are all the rage these days. Let's talk with Matt, the mortgage guy who's done many of these and has many more going. Matt, what's going on? Happy 2026.
Happy 2026 to you. Happy 2026 to One Rental at a Time family. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of you next month out in
1
in
month
Vegas
away. Yeah,
at the third annual. Holy moly, man! Time flies.
God, can you imagine? That's third one. Crazy.
But
well, let's get into it. What define first off for the audience who may have heard of bank statement loans but maybe not know what it is. What is a bank statement loan?
Yeah, and you know, first and foremost, what I want to say is I think bank statement loans get a bad rap because that was probably the name given to some really
shady
subprime crap loans that were written in 05, 06, 07, where
Sure.
you know, you provide 2 months of bank statements and you fog a mirror and you close a loan. Not the same type of bank statement loans I'm talking about. But the bank statement loans I'm talking about do feel relatively easy for the self-employed borrowers that I work with, you know, the right demographic, where your self-employed business might have $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a month in deposits. Sure, you've got expenses, you've got this, you've got, you know, you bought a building and did a cost seg and wrote off, you know, a good portion of your income to where, you know, your K1 or your net revenue, however you file your taxes, shows a number where you're like making $36,000 a year. I can't qualify for a loan. But bank statement lenders, for all intents and purposes, just to really simplify it, look at it and go, okay, over the course of the year, you had $1 million in deposits in this account, you know, 12 months bank statement. So let's divide that by 12, you know, call it 80 some odd thousand. They will use an expense factor. They know there's expenses that go along with businesses, and different lenders do this differently. Some might cut it in half by, you know, doing a 50% expense factor. Others will look at the industry and say, oh, 25% is common there, 20 is common there. But whatever the case, these loans are so common now that you can submit 12 months of bank statements to them, tell them what industry or what it is, and they'll give you, okay, your income number is $29,476. Then you just take that income number and it's a normal loan. That income versus, you know, this mortgage payment and these debts, yes, you qualify. And I've done it for primaries where, you know, somebody needs a multi-million-dollar cash out on a house they own that's got 7 figures in equity, bank statement loan, because they run a business that sees a lot of deposits. I've got another one that's an investment that we're doing right now where kind of like DSCR, you look at it and you go, wow, like these rates are comparable. These rates are not a huge spread, which I think is another thing that surprises people, where they might have heard, oh yeah, you got conventional FHA and these rates are this, and then you do bank statement DSCR or anything, you know, outside of that box and you've got higher rates. You know, the cash out primary one we closed was mid sixes. The rate and term investment one I'm looking at right now, mid sixes. And so the terms are great. And the last thing I'm going to do is tell a business owner, oh, hey, listen, show 350,000 on your taxes. Don't use those legal write-offs that your CPA recommends so you can qualify for a loan, and send off $100,000 to the IRS, or, you know, even worse, the government of California, to go spend that money so responsibly.
Yeah, bank statement loans make a lot of sense for entrepreneurs and small business owners because, you know, there's I guess there's a difference between creative and illegal,
right,
you know, accounting practices. So we're obviously just talking about creative here, but there are a bunch of write-offs that you could take as a business owner, right? That's essentially what the tax code is. It's not a punishment system; it's a reward system. Right. And as a small business owner, you are entitled to certain deductions, and those deductions can make your income look very, very small. Hence, you don't qualify for conventional. But as a business who could show, you know, income and then, you know, actual receipts, it makes total sense that bank statement loans. And I'm personally very happy to hear we've gone from the crazy days of 06, where we just need 2 months, to a more reasonable, show me 12 months,
Right.
which
Right.
makes total sense to me.
Yeah. And a couple quick caveats too, there's some lenders that want the business bank statements. Others are okay with personal bank statements if it's going into a personal account. Some allow you to do a mix. Some want 24 months of statements. That's not very common. I've heard of some that will say, get us 3 months and we'll find a way to make it work. But, that starts delving in to, the subprime stuff that I really don't like. I like loans where it makes sense. You're like, okay, this guy's owned this business for 30 years. He's got $80,000 a month in deposits and great credit. Of course he's going to make good on this loan, right? Of course he is. He just happens to, through real estate or through, investing in this business for the future, have a tax return where he's legally writing that income down to a point where it's not going to qualify for conventional financing.
No, I think that makes total sense. And again, small business owners, entrepreneurs need to have a way to secure assets. This is one of the ways it can be done, bank statement loans. So who should be looking at these? Obviously, small business owner, somebody with aggressive tax returns, basically someone who doesn't supply conventional. The last thing you said earlier is, I agree with you. The rates are very comparable, right? You might be able to get a conventional at like 6.25%, and a 12-month bank statement loan might be 6.5%, right? So there's a little risk premium, but it's not as much as most people think.
Yeah, it's very minimal. And so, I think for most people, if you talk to a competent mortgage broker, they're going to look at this stuff. I've got some people that they hear something or they see something and they bring questions to me, which I encourage, right? If you are talking to somebody and they're like, here's what it looks like, or you don't qualify, or, here's the terms for your FHA loan. You can ask, well, why not conventional? Well, why not bank statement? And a good one is going to be able to explain it. And I've got some clients who have posed that to us. Sometimes, like before they even ask, I'll show them, here's 5% down conventional and 3.5% down FHA. Here's why you want to go conventional versus FHA. And I'll show you side by side. Other borrowers, hey, listen, I got good news and bad news. We don't qualify based on, what a great CPA you have and the fact that, only 51,000 hit the bottom line, but here's a product that works for you. And let's go this route. And so, you'd be surprised, Mike, that cash out refinance of that business owner that I literally closed it on December 30th or 31st. They were told no by multiple people. They were told by a mortgage professional, no need to shop this. No one can get this loan done. Well, it closed.
Somebody did.
It recorded in Los Angeles County, December 31st, 2025. And, Matthew Gouget, NMLS 1088993 was the loan officer on that loan. So I've got some knowledge about it. And so, there's loan products. And quite honestly, this is another thing that, as the market ebbs and flows, I think loan officers, like myself, who see a lot of different deals, will see different stuff. I'm seeing more difficult stuff, tricky stuff. I got a text this morning about a non-warrantable condo. I've got people saying, I got turned down here. What can you do for me? And thankfully, there are lenders out there. And this is another, case study, or one that I'm doing currently. There's lenders out there that 70% of the deals they close are on exception. And they've got the ability, because they've got a big pool of funds and they've got a board that gets together and goes, you know what? At first glance, we've got X, Y, and Z, and lenders won't lend on it because of that. But check it out. It's only 60% like loan to value. And this house is in an area that there's factors that make this a loan that we might want. I've got one right now, Mike, that if you would have told me any lender would touch this, I would have said you're crazy. And this specific lender came back and said, well, there's that, there's that late payment on a mortgage here. There's this issue with credit. There's this issue with debt load. but there's equity, but there's this, but there's that. We'll do it 30-year fixed 9.25. Now, some people are going to say, oh my gosh, 9.25, that's crazy. If you look at the individual's cash flow and profile, this person is paying $7,700 a month, paying the minimum payments, drowning. Credit gets worse every single month, right? You refinance, you've still got, I think, 25 or 30% equity in this home. You've got a $4,300 payment. On a first mortgage where you're like, man, I really wouldn't want a 9.25. They're in a 6 and something right now, plus all the other debts, plus a HELOC, plus all the other stuff. This is, step one of a 2-part plan where I'm telling them, stay on track.
Right.
Because I can get you a 6.25 30-year fixed
in a year or two.
In a year, in 12 months. That mortgage late is going to be seasoned more than 12 months, which is what lenders don't like. One of the disqualifiers why you can't get a conventional loan now. Get all of this mud and muck out of there, refinance you to 6.25. It's probably going to go down to $3,300 a month. And this current refinance at 9.25 is paying off all that debt. So all that $7,700 in debt at minimums that will never be paid off is going to be $4,300 for a 12-month period. There's going to be $3,300, in a year if we can refinance.
This is assuming they change their behavior and they stop shopping and spending on credit. This is where most people fail.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. That's the, thing that we do as
Devil's in the details.
Debt advisors is like, listen, I can advise just like a financial advisor can say, hey, listen, Mr. 22-year-old, if you start right now and you put $500 a month into X, Y, and Z and don't touch it and stay disciplined, you're going to be a multimillionaire. But yeah, I can advise, I can show the path. Whether you walk the path, whether you take the advice, is up to you. But if you want to connect with me and my team, mtmg.com. I'm starting to love these tricky deals. I think early on in my career, I might've been afraid of them, Mike, but now, non-warrantable condo. Thanks for thinking of me and reaching out. A deal that somebody else turned down. Thanks for thinking of me and reaching out. Not necessarily an open invitation for you guys to send me all kinds of junk from across the country.
That's funny. In the day, folks, mtmg.com, Matt the Mortgage Guy. You're amazing. Thanks, family.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.